faster. Is it working faster?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not going to turn it up this time. There we go.
Family and friends.
Hey! Finally! This is T. Hatchett, and we are the Hatchett Chronicles. And today's subject is, I know we're always laughing and joking and playing and trying to, lighten the mood of everything that's going on. But today we're going to get kind of deep. We're going to talk about rebuilding relationships. And there's going to be some steps to this, so bear with us. Now, before we start with rebuilding relationships, we want to give our little plugs and shout outs. So, I'll go first because I know you got to think about what's going on with you. What's going on with me? Okay, I am. Because you always take a while to come up with what's going on.
That's a lot of stuff.
Okay, well, I'm doing a lot of stuff too, but I know what I'm doing. Anyway, my sister, shout out to Valerie McAllister. Her web series is starting very soon. So shout out to her. Y'all follow her, Valerie McAllister, the book club. I'm writing my second book. That's going to be forever, y'all. It's going to take a while, so I'm going to be promoting it while it's taking a while. I'm only on the first chapter. My second book is still for sale.
The first book is for sale.
My first book is still for sale, The Power of God. So I am me or my husband, or if you have my number, text me to get a copy of that. What else do I have going on? Oh, I'm finishing up my chapter. My sister is doing an anthology. I can't say the word, but it's 15 authors, and we're writing. It's called the Coronavirus Chronicles, and so I have a chapter in that. I'm finishing up my chapter for that, so look out for that. What else is going on? Oh, my artist Del Royale. He has a video out, a new song out.
It's crazy. The song is crazy too.
Sabrina Johnston, I'm working on a project with her. That's my major artist. And I can't think of anything else. If I missed something, charge it to my heart, not my head, because it's just so much.
Yeah.
But that's it for now. What do you got going on, mister?
Nothing.
See, this is why I go first.
Well, I know a couple of people probably saw the advertisement I put out on Facebook, on Gram, and Twitter about the beat tape that I'm doing. It'll be dropping on the 1st of May. And y'all really need to tune in and grab that. I worked hard on it. There's some fire things on there. And it's not just a beat tape. And I'm not going to I'm not going to spoil it, but, definitely grab a copy of it.
Check it out. He's my artist.
You'll definitely be happy about that. The Life and Time was a Frank Bates project. I'm still working on that. I'm compiling songs from different artists that I work with, different features I have with different artists and stuff like that. It's taken me a little while to do that because I have a lot of material, man. My external drive is loaded. So look out for that. That's still coming. Me and my brother from a different mother, Trigger the Gambler, we was talking on the phone a couple of days ago, and we got something going on real nice. I don't want to spoil that either, but it's definitely a good look, man. It's been a long time coming, and when we drop this, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm super excited about it.
Are you super excited?
I'm super excited.
Okay.
about that.
Super excited, y'all.
I want to say shout to all my people that support me and rock with me whenever I put something out, whenever I do
Hey,
something.
Miss Parker.
I just want to, shout y'all out and tell you thank you very much for all the love and support y'all show me over the years and stuff like that. For that,
That's it.
for the most part, that's about it that I'm working on. No, I just acquired a new project, but I'll
We'll
address that
talk
another
about
time. Yeah,
that
because I just
later.
But that's gonna be
Hey,
crazy.
Del Royal, I just shouted you out in your new video.
Del Royale, what's the deal? But and yo, I gotta you gotta call me, man. I got a few things in the stash. I know you just did a video and all that, but let's keep working. And
is that Nikki?
Hey, Nicole Asbury. That's my sister right there.
Oh.
You done spoke to Nikki like 900 times.
I said, is that Nikki? And you was like, hi, Nikki. Don't mind. We're always enough. He is too. No, he is. Okay, let's get to the subject because I am very excited about this subject.
I bet you are.
Whatever. Okay, so this is rebuilding relationships.
Reef.
Hey, Reef.
What's the
deal? Okay, so this is about rebuilding relationships today. And first, let me just put a little tag in there saying that the first thing about rebuilding relationships.
Dot Bundini, my little bro, what's happening?
Okay, can you be like low when you be?
No, not with that one.
Okay, well,
not with that
one.
You're
a little too loud because I'm trying to discuss.
I apologize about that, but I get excited when I see my little bro. That's my heart right there.
Okay, so rebuilding relationships. First, we want to say that the first thing to rebuilding a relationship is to decide if the relationship is worth it.
Right.
Because this is not for relationships that's not worth it, okay? This is for, let's say you've been in a relationship, I don't know,
10 years.
10 years. Or even a year, because some people, die after a year. Yeah. And you're not in the honeymoon stage no more, and you don't know what happened or where it went wrong or whatever like that. That's what this is for. Not in a relationship that, is not even worth being in.
Is it worth repairing it? Number one. Number two, is that the space that you still want to be in? Number two. And number three, are you going to be able to trust and respect and communicate with that person without bringing that same subject up and bringing it to the forefront to argue and keep reliving the subject or that rehashing
whatever made y'all
right
have to rebuild in the first place? Because maybe it's not a subject though. Maybe
it could be an incident, it could be a subject, it could whatever it is, whatever. I just want to say across the board for the guys, okay, across the board. If that's not what you want to do, it's not worth saving.
Yeah. If it's
not what you want to do, if it's not who you want to be with, leave it alone. It's not worth saving.
Exactly. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But if it is,
then
there's some steps there.
Okay. So we going into that part now?
Yes. Because you have to, because first of all, what was it that
that's what I'm talking
brought you to that point in the first place? What was it that now the honeymoon is gone? What was it that now you're not communicating? What was it that now you might be looking at somebody else? What was it that...
It could be a number of things.
Yeah, whatever it is, what brought you to that point? Is it years? What brought it to your point? Now, in thinking about that, wait a minute. in thinking about that now, you also got to realize, are you grown? Do you have your big girl or big boy pants on? You know, did you bring luggage into the, hey cuz, did you bring luggage into the relationship
Uncle Bob, what's happening?
that you did not, you know, that you did not unpack or that you did not leave at the door when you came into the relationship? You know, do they have luggage? You know, is one crazy and one not crazy? You know, things like that.
Hey, son.
You have to look at all that stuff.
Daniel Thomas.
Hey, Daniel. So I think that's the beginning of rebuilding. Knowing why
you have to take whatever the situation was, whatever it is that brought the split on, you have to face that and ask yourself if this is worth saving, if this is what you want to do. Steve, he said, and Miss Grizzle, he said, well, he called you Miss Grizzle.
Hi. Because you Grizzle. Okay.
You know it.
And Sharif said, ask yourself, do the good times outweigh the bad times if your love is really in it? Exactly.
That's a good thing. You know what? I would suggest this too. You could sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and write all the good things and write all the bad things. Because you know, if you have a poster board or a leaderboard where you write down everything, it's easier to follow and more things come into play when you write it down. You tend to, quote unquote, pay attention to it more and you don't forget it. So with that being said, I think one of the first steps is to face what it is that caused it in the first place, and then to ask yourself, is it that detrimental that I don't want to repair this, or it wasn't really that big of a deal, so can I get by it? That's one of the first. That's what I would suggest.
I want to say this to women, because, and I'm not picking on women, but women, we petty. And we can be petty sometimes.
I don't even think it's petty.
Let me just say that. We can be petty because if you did something to us, we can hold it and hold it and hold it, and you'll be like, what's the matter? A man will be like, what's the matter? We'd be like, nothing. And we sitting there holding and festering and holding and festering.
That's not good.
You know what? If you want this relationship, you're going to have to let go. You're going to have to let go. Okay, I say this, and men, please don't get offended, but my sister and I talk about this all the time. Women, sometimes men can be a little silly, stupid. Okay? And so I say this to say that you can't fault them if they make a stupid mistake, because men make stupid mistakes. You know?
That's a biased ass thing.
I know it is. It is.
You can't say men, you should say people.
Okay. People.
Wink my boy.
I'm talking to my ladies now. But what I'm saying is that you can't hold it over their head. You know, you should know who you're with when you come into the relationship. That's all I'm saying, seriously.
If you don't
know who you with when you come into the relationship, then that's a problem right there. But if you know who you with when you come into the relationship, then it
makes it a lot easier when things happen that you can sit down and iron them out and be able to talk about it, because you'll know pretty much what the next person is feeling, or you know what kind of conversation you're going to get out of that situation. So basically, you got to know that it's not a bunch of hidden agenda things that you're going to get hit with. You know what I mean?
That's true. So you're right. Nigel, that's my sister. That could be your sister.
What did she say?
She said, I think when you have been hurt by someone, nobody can tell you how long it takes to get over it. That's true.
That's a perfect point.
That's a good point. But here's the thing. If you're not ready to get over it, I don't think you should agree to, okay,
repair the situation.
Yeah, to repair the situation, because it's also not good to keep bringing stuff up over and over. If you're hurt
Peace, cuz,
and you don't think you're going to get over it, then
it doesn't make sense to
maybe y'all need a separation for a minute until you can, come to terms with it. Because if you are not over it and you get back with that person,
it's going to create a problem that's even worse from. It's going to escalate the problem that was there in the first place.
Exactly.
It's going to get the situation will get worse, because now here you have added things that have added on to just that particular thing. You know what I'm saying? You have other things now along with it, because you figured at one point that, okay, I've been hurt by this person and, we split at this point. Okay. So now you wait a month or two, just, I'm just tossing numbers. It's not accurate, but you say a month or two, you wait, and then you feel like, okay, that was cool. We talked it out, everything. We want to repair this, and you get back together. And deep down inside, you're really not ready to repair it. Then what happens is, from that point, when you get back together, there are other little things that could transpire within that time that you've gotten back together. And now they all start to trickle in. So now the trickling has begun, and you figure by a year now, it's so much stuff that's added on to the first situation that you had. It's no way that this thing could be repaired. And to a point where you lost a friend and everything now.
Okay, let me read real quick. Okay, Tony says, I tell wifey all the time that communication is the key. Perfect. On spot. Nigel said, if the person who hurt you only has to deal with you bringing it up versus you dealing with the hurt itself. It's true. It's communication, like Tony just said. It's got to be communication. Khalif says, smoke a blunt, everything will work itself out.
No doubt,
okay, that's not everybody don't smoke.
Khalif stupid. That joke says smoke a blunt and everything.
Okay, let's use an example. Let's say someone cheated on you. Let's say that. Okay?
All right.
So, and you decide that, okay, I'm going to forgive him and get back with him. Okay.
That is a touchy subject.
Okay, because the first thing you should try to figure out is why they cheated on you in the first place.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that too. Go ahead and finish that, because
then I say, do you really want to just forgive them and get back with them? Because it does not always work like that. Maybe you should say, okay, I forgive you, but I need some time. Because you're talking about trust. You're talking about more than just the act of cheating. You're talking about trust. You're talking about lying. You're talking about a whole lot of other things. Mm-hmm. So that can't be just like forgiving and like, I don't think you should just go back into a relationship after that. I think that you both need time.
Right. And to add on to that, here's what I think the most important part of that is in that situation, I feel like if you're gonna forgive someone and say, we're gonna do this thing again, once you forgive them, you cannot and should not bring that up again.
And that's why I say that.
Listen, because when you do, that's going to create a problem.
But that's why I said that you can't.
You're right, now.
It's the whole thing is a process. Yeah, that's why I said you can't go back into a relationship. You just can't forgive somebody and go back into a relationship.
Right, but I'm saying, this is what I'm saying is, you're right. I'm not negating that. What I'm saying is, you should take time and really figure out if that's what you want to do or whatever the case. If you figure out that you want to go back and this is something that you want to do, that things are salvageable and things like that, I'm giving a tip that that should never be brought up and that should never be addressed again.
That's true.
It should never be. You know
It's
why?
true. But you know
Because
how
it's not
hard
going
that
to do.
is?
It's hard.
Because
but,
that would take trust again,
and this is
and
why
you would have to rebuild everything again.
Exactly right. And this is why what you said was very important. That I don't think y'all should just jump right back if you're not ready for that.
I think that the number one thing is communication. Because let me tell you something about communication
and trust.
But you know what? Communication it's the foundation of everything. And the reason why I say that is because if you have communication, and this is going to sound real weird, but if you have communication, there's no such thing as cheating. Let me say why. Because, like, for instance, me and my husband got communication. So if at any time I'm not satisfied with something, because you cheat because something is not satisfying you. You're looking for something elsewhere.
Naj, I'm going to explain my point in a second. You're right to a certain extent.
You're looking for something elsewhere most of the time when you cheat, except for people who just out there just getting it in because they want to get it in. My husband and I talked about that the other day. I don't believe that a man is a dog unless he's trying to, and I don't believe a woman is a slut unless they're trying to be in a relationship and be out there too. And nothing wrong with a guy liking or being with a bunch of women. If that's what he chooses, that's fine, as long as he's not trying to have a monogamous relationship with that. There's nothing wrong with a woman seeing whoever she want to see, as long as she's not trying to be with one guy with that. So what I'm saying is that when you cheat on your mate, it's probably because you're missing something. Now, if you have communication, I can go to my husband and say, listen, something is like, for instance, good example. I'll give you a good example instead of going through that. I had been hinting for something without getting too deep with my husband for a couple of days. I've been saying, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And he wasn't doing it. And last night it was just like, he did it. And it was just like, haven't you been asking for this? And I kind of smiled because that's my husband's way. He'll know. I might not even know that he's noticing or taking notice of my hints, but he takes notice of my hints just like I take notice of his hints. I'm not too proud or not. I don't say to my husband, well, you should know. If something's on my mind or I want something, I ask for it. Just like if something's on his mind and he wants something, he asks for it. If I'm getting on my husband's nerves, he will say, you're getting on my nerves. Just like I will say to him, you're getting on my nerves. If something is wrong, he doesn't have to ask me 50 times, what's wrong, what's wrong.
Hey, brother.
I will say, what's wrong.
Thank you.
That's communication. That's what I'm talking about. If you have that, there is no such thing as cheating.
Okay, now I want to address my sister. Nod, you still there?
Well, I said that it was, if you're just out there cheating just because you just trying to get yours, that's what I said, Nadia, because she said some cheat just because
it was a bad
choice at the time.
Yeah.
There's always a reason, though. I feel like there's always a reason.
I want to address something that Nod said. Nod, you know what? You said it's impossible not to bring that up again because there are triggers. There are. But my thing is this. You have to be the best you that you can be. And it's not about the other person. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be the best you. So in your heart, in your mind, and in your soul, if this is something that you want to work,
God bless you.
And you know that this is something you want to work, whether they're thinking about it or not, which they should, but I'm giving it to you from a different perspective on not just everything as a whole, but sometimes self-correction may be that part of what we need to hold on to something. You understand what I'm saying? So whereas though that we're not bringing something to the forefront that's going to damage the relationship. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we have to compromise with things that we're not happy with in a relationship. Like this, for instance, what I'm doing right now, I hate being on camera. I'm telling y'all that, and I know I say this in different Hatchet Chronicles and stuff like that. This is something. This is something. But I'm just giving. This is a perfect example. This is something that I hate to do. I hate to do this. I don't like being on camera. I don't like it. But I do this because it makes my wife happy. It makes her happy. This is part of her joy that's in our relationship. Whatever I have to do to make her happy as a man and as her husband, I have to do that because I took her hand in marriage and I told the Lord that I said I do for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. I'm going to make her happy. And that's what I have to do. That's my job. So as a man, I took that on when I first grabbed her hand and told her we're going to get married. I knew what I was getting into. So with that being said, I have to do everything in my power. So therefore, if a situation where someone cheated, okay, and when I say you can't bring that up, if you feel like you want to express yourself, let that out after you guys have put this back together and things like that, sometimes you have to think, you know what, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm gonna just bite that. I'm gonna chomp down on that. But this may not be the right time to speak on that. And also, I'm trying to repair this relationship because this is what I really want. And if I throw that jab or if I throw that dig, that's it's gonna create a problem where you might throw that jab or you might throw that dig, and for that moment nobody says anything. Then just for instance, a couple of months from now, you got to a tiff and you throw that jab or you throw that dig again. Now the other person is thinking, all right, now this is the second time she brought that up in an argument. If we get into another argument, this is the third time he brought that up in an argument.
Okay, wait, baby. I got it. They running too fast on me because they respond. Okay, first let me say that Nigel said, but it hurts nevertheless. Yes, and it does. I agree. That's why I said you shouldn't get right back with him because you got to heal that hurt first. I heard. And Brenda said, okay, I heard of people cheating. They wanted to see if they still have it, but at the end of the day, they should have gotten that all out from the beginning. That's exactly but right. Guess what? That's where the communication comes in. And right, you working together, because if you're working together, then you should. You don't have to worry about it if you still got it, because your husband should be telling you that you still. That's for right. instance, a good example is, we've been locked in the house. I'm baking my behind off because that's what I do. That's all good. But on top of it, I'm eating what I'm baking. So I've gained a little weight. For me, I'm happy with myself because I have put on this weight. But my husband is always constantly reinforcing that I'm beautiful to him and he loves me. He tells me he loves me 2-3 times a day and that I'm beautiful 2-3 times a day. So I don't feel the need to have to go out there and see if I got, let's say once I lose this weight, because I will be losing this weight, I don't feel the need to go out there and figure out if I still got it, because I know I have it here.
I want to jump in on that. The reason why I reaffirm I love you every day and I tell you that you're beautiful and I always tell you that you're glowing is because it's not exactly what's on the outside. It is, right? Because every man wants eye candy. You understand? And if you have a wife, that's a double scoop of chocolate. You understand what I'm saying? Or that's a scoop of whatever. But I know your heart, right? And I know your mind. I would choose that over anything else any day because I know your heart for me, just like my heart is for you. You understand what I'm saying? Babe, God forbid something happens. both of your legs got cut off. I'm gonna love you like I love you now.
Wobble, please.
You know what? It's a family
I'm
show.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Y'all didn't
She
hear
gonna
that.
wobble to me.
Y'all didn't hear that. Did y'all?
I can't. I can't.
Anyway,
I tried to make a serious point and see what
you
happens.
are serious.
I wobble on.
Wobble, wobble. Anyway, Nigel said the cheater usually initiates getting back together. Most of the time, they have been kicked to the curb. You're right, and maybe that's
what is it now?
Most of the time, they've been kicked to the curb. Cheater usually initiates getting back together, and you're right. And maybe you realize that person ain't for you. That's why you shouldn't jump back into it, because they might not be for you.
You know what? A lot of people, grass is greener on the other side. But the upkeep is something way different.
Ooh, baby, say that again. That was nice. No, that was smooth. Say that again.
The grass is greener on the other side, but the upkeep is way different.
You're a good man to come on to make your wife happy. What a blessing from God. Yes, he is. He is.
I try to do the best I do.
When you have grown to that place.
What you mean, Naj? What you mean when you've grown place?
It was something that we said because we ain't keeping up. Oh, we a little slow, y'all. We old, so give us a chance. That's right, bro. Our main objective is to make our queen happy while still standing in our square as a king.
That's that right.
Was Tony.
Speak on it, bro. Speak on it, king.
Correct.
That's
it's easier said than done, and action speaks louder than words. And some people have gifts to gab. You're right. Some people do. But see, that's where it comes in. Because I truly believe, and we talked about this before, if you're not broken, then you already know you don't need to be fixed. What that means is you both have to look inside yourself and see your actions. Even if somebody cheated on you, you have to ask the question of why they cheated on you. Besides them just not being the right person. But I'm saying you have to, a lot of people don't take accountability. Now that's not negating and saying that the person that cheated on you is right and letting them off the hook. It's just saying that if you're in a real relationship, you have to look on both sides, yours and his, or his and yours, or however you want to put it, and see why did it happen.
And you know what? That comes with being mindful of your surroundings and being mindful of your situation and being mindful of the relationship that you're in. Relationships, it's a work, you know? Marriage is a work, okay? And there are some things that you may have to do to keep your marriage alive, keep your relationship alive. But at the end of the day, it's up to you and what you want. If that's not what you want, then it doesn't make sense to sit and tell a bunch of lies and lie and say, yeah, we're going to keep this going. It's going to be all right. And I'm going to change and this and this and that. And then as soon as she walks out the room, you texting Shorty on the other side. That's not cool. This is why you have to be mindful of other people's feelings. You have to be towards that person. You have to understand where they are. You know, some people hurt faster than others. Some people heal faster than others. Some people can take more than others. You know, sometimes it may take a whole lot to person. Sometimes you can say 2 words and a person is all over the floor. They're broken up. And you got to sweep them up. You know what I mean? No, seriously.
Yeah, you're right.
Be mindful of the situation. That in turn becomes communication.
Brenda said something, and I'm going to speak to that because that's very important. She said communication is very important. My ex-husband was a wonderful man, but he went out to see if he still had it, and it killed me. He didn't cheat, he said, but he did go out. He is my bestie today. Now see,
that's
bestie. Beastie. It's beastie.
What is
That's what it means. Best friend. Bestie.
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so let me say this. First of all, even if he didn't cheat, just there's different phrases of cheat. His mind was already out they went out there. And it doesn't make him a bad person, but it's also you did what you could tolerate. You would not tolerate that. And that's okay. That doesn't make him a bad person.
And
that doesn't make you a bad person.
That's right.
But you knew what you wanted. And that was something you did not want, or that was your line. Like, for instance, when me and my husband first got together, we talked a lot. And we had a line. This is a line that you can't cross with us. This is what we said. We said, what would make you break up with me? And you said, this is what would make me leave you. And I said, this is what would make me leave you. So that was our line that we said we wouldn't cross with each other.
So with that being said, that's
he crossed your line.
He crossed your line. And then one of the things to that, once she told me that, I know from that point on that I have to be mindful and pay for that, because this is something that I want. This is my wife. She said the grass is never greener on the other side. What?
The grass is never greener on the other side. I'll wait for my love to come, and I feel it's coming as you exactly as you're right. And that's a very important, because we haven't talked here today, but you know that we are very, very
just
spiritual.
Getting ready to go into that.
You're very spiritual, and I would not have been with him, and he would not even be with me if God hadn't prepared us. You have to prepare yourself first, and
period.
Yeah, period. For the women, it's called no more sheets. When you buy them, you got to clean your sheets and wait for, take all those sheets off and wait for God to place that one in you.
You know what?
He cheated because he thought about it, but I still loved him because he is human. Heart to this day.
That's what's up, and that's, you know what, Brenda. That's all right. That's all right, and you're not wrong for that.
He's not wrong for that.
He's not wrong for it either. As long as you guys have communication and can get past what happened, if that was a hurtful situation or it was turmoil at one time, and you've been able to get past it, and that's your friend today, that's what's up. That's called being grown. That's called getting past what you need to get past. You know what I mean? So my thing is
amen. God has to be in the middle, not just a part. He has to be in the middle of your relationship.
Yes,
and he must be first. Amen to that. Yes, he must be first. Because if he's not...
I got a story about that, right? One time before me and my wife got married, we was in the crib, and we used to pray before we went to bed. So I was praying, and it was...
He's telling, you got to tell the whole story.
I'm getting ready to. The thing is, we planned on not having sex before we got... No, I
said it too.
You agreed with me.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but it was my idea.
Just because it was hard to keep, I didn't agree with it.
But it was it was something that I wanted to do, because I believe that in a relationship, if you are able to have sex for a substantial amount of time, that'll just give you more time to know the person and won't cloud your mind. Because a lot of times, having sex and you just meeting somebody and everything is brand new, man, no one stays out of the bed. Everybody's in the bed, they on the floor, in the closet, in the backseat of the car, in the backyard, on the patio, or wherever it goes down at. But what I'm saying is, sex class your true mental thought of saying, am I really in love with this person? Do I want this person? Is this person the one for me, without sex being involved? So my thing was, I said one night we was praying.
But we living together.
Yeah, we was living together.
We lived together 4 months before we got married. But we was from sex, okay? So that, to tell y'all, that it was hard. Okay, it was hard to do.
Yes, it was.
Okay, and so what he he's saying that he prayed, but what happened was the night before that, we getting more, but we used to drink, and we had some drinks, and things had almost went the wrong direction. And so, he felt bad. He felt, and I say he, I'm real. Everybody know I'm an open book. So yes, he felt bad. I didn't feel as bad. Okay, that's the truth. It sounds horrible, but that's the truth. I wanted to say, and if we had a
went all
way, I felt bad. Okay, and that's the truth. Okay, but he felt bad, and so what happened was the next night.
And I said, when there are two or three that touch, God is in the midst. That's what the scripture. I said, so God, I'm inviting you into our bed right now, tonight.
Yes, he did. He
I'm
invited
you
God in the bed
and
with
I want
us.
you to come
and I
us and enjoy this evening with us while TV and everything. Just come right in. And I meant that from the bottom of my heart. And that night was a beautiful night as any other night. But the next day, she was like, did you really invite God in our business?
So I did say that.
And I was like, sure I did. So with that being said, that was like a spinoff of what Brenda said, that God has to be in a relationship and be first. She said, God said, okay. And she said, that's right. What?
She said, that's right. He was not wrong. I let him go to have children. He didn't have no kids, and today he has two beautiful kids. And if I didn't let him go, then babies wouldn't be. He's a good father and was a wonderful stepfather. And you know what?
That's a woman.
That's what I was going to say. That takes a grown woman. That's what it means by putting on your pants. And making the decision. And that's what it takes in a relationship.
That's being grown and having communication and being understanding and being mindful of someone else's feelings and what someone else thinks. That's being mindful of that. Kudos to you, Brenda, for that. That's what's up. But I do want to say, this is another thing that I want to say, to a point that Brenda made when saying to, and I think Naj said it too, to see if you still got it. To see if you still have it is, that's, to me, that's kind of corny. That's kind of,
because I'm trying to keep up.
It's okay. Come up with it.
No, Tony had wrote something and then I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared.
To seeing if you still have it, you kind of asked already. I know I still got it with my wife,
and that's all that counts.
And you know, like when God is involved in your marriage, then you're gonna always have, as long as you always have Him. Point blank. Period. You're gonna always have it, and if it's done under His order, then He's gonna make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Today, I wish I never
let my hubby go. I couldn't have no more kids, and I wish I didn't let him go. But like you said, if you hadn't, he wouldn't have had the two beautiful kids he had. Love is not always
love. Selfish.
Yeah, love, and it's not always. You're not always together with someone you love.
That's true.
Sometimes you gotta know to let go of someone you love because you love them.
That's right.
Because y'all are on different paths.
That's right. If you love them, you have to let them go. Sometimes.
Yeah, and that's really hard. Putting on your big grown folks pants.
And that's hard to do. If you're in love with somebody, to let them go, that's very hard to do.
But I want to get back to building rebuilding relationships, because I know that we have a lot of. My brother has said, I had spoke with my brother, and I saw him on here. I don't know if he's still on here. Hey, but he said yesterday, or the day before yesterday, when I spoke with him, he was like, I told him what the subject was, and he was like, just go out the door.
Yeah.
And that's true if you're not really into it, invested in it. And if you're not in love with it, because there's a difference between in love and love. That's the first thing.
Really?
I know you didn't know that.
No, I have no idea.
And then if you're in love with it, not always is it a good thing to be with the person you're in love with. You can't always be with who you're in love with. I mean, I was saying it. So once established that it's okay to be with the one you love with. Let's say you've been together. You said what, 10 years? Let's say you've been together 10 years. Because, when we got
Wow.
I know I'm not selfish, but girl is my heart, and he was calling me for a long time, and he knew, and the new wife said he can't talk to me no more. Okay, that's a whole nother issue.
We'll address that on a
yeah,
whole
we
nother
address that about being the ex and talking to the wife. We are gonna, and thank you, because that might be next week's subject.
That's a whole right there.
But what was that? Oh, yeah, let's say you the 10 years. Now, one of the things when me and my husband got together, I heard people say marriage is work, marriage is work. And I couldn't understand, because it was like marriage ain't work. It ain't work easy for us. But it is work to a point, because you have to know when to say, you have to look at what you're saying. You don't want to hurt the other one's feelings. You keep the fire burning in the relationship. So that is work to a point. But if you've been together 10 years and things ain't like it was, and you're just roomies, so to speak, you have to look where you was. You're gonna have to start the communication again. You're gonna have to look back at what it was you first fell in love with that person for. You're gonna have to maybe go back in time. What did you have to do to get that person? You're gonna have to go back and start all over again.
See, that's just like meet someone, and I know everybody's heard of this in some way, shape, form, or fashion throughout their life. When you meet someone, continue doing those things to keep them. So whatever you did to get them, you need to continue.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you start out and your woman is cooking for you every day, and she was cooking for you just to get you, once you're in a relationship, she needs to keep cooking for you, because that's what she did to get you. No.
I'm just asking.
I ain't even tripping with you no more. You feel like it. If you don't, I eat a sandwich.
And that's how I was from the beginning, though.
No, it wasn't.
I was. I only got up.
Baby,
Look,
you fibber in front of people. Don't do that.
I don't.
Baby, you fibber.
Baby.
And when we together, anytime I asked you to look at the kitchen, you was coming back with huge plates.
I still do that.
That's why I'm fat.
No, it's not. For you being fat. you was fat when I married you. Look.
Oh, now I'm fat.
You lied to first married you. A word is like that.
Y'all see, she just called me fat on Facebook. Shouldn't you be mindful of what you say to your spouse? All right, Naj, what you say, Naj?
Not being with someone you love should be, because not being them is healthy for you. Well, and not healthy for them too. It's a two-way street. So it might not be healthy for you and not for them.
Not being with someone you love should be because
not being with them is
is
healthy
healthy.
for you.
Yeah.
It's not. It shouldn't also be because it's not it's healthy for them too.
First, you have to think about yourself.
And you're right, Naza. You have to be yourself because I'm very hard in the beginning to be myself so that my husband, because it's hard for me, and so I tried to do things that I knew that I could keep up with.
Brenda, man, you are spot on. Some dude is gonna love you. You see what she wrote?
Yes. Which one?
The top one.
That's crazy. I told him you have to respect the new wife and you can't call it had to stop.
And that's the same thing that me and my wife did when we first got together.
Well, sort of.
It wasn't actually.
What we did was we both had and it was like, and I said to him, do you have a go-to? Because I have a go-to. And to have that conversation with my go-to to know that I am not going to him anymore. And you need to have that conversation with your go-to because we're not going to be doing that in our relationship. And so he had that conversation with our go-to person.
But that's kind of basically what she said too.
Mm-hmm.
That and you have to respect the new wife, and you can't call, and you have to stop calling.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't
Basically.
the go-to wasn't the wife,
right? No, right?
Because I don't. That's why we're gonna have this conversation next week because his ex-wife calls him all the time. I don't have a problem with that because,
but that's
they got kids together.
I have 2 ex-wives though. That's the thing. I have 2 ex-wives.
Well, I wouldn't have either one of them to be honest with you. I am not on that level, so that's.
I know that, but I'll just make the disclaimer and put that out there that the one that calls me all the time is the one that I have children with.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
But it's not even because they have children, because they don't always be talking about the kids. It's not even about that. It's, listen.
And you know what? I feel the same way. What happened before me, there's nothing I could do about it. All I'm concerned with is what goes on now. What happened with you and, Buff and Jimmy John and Harold and
Tommy
and Ronnie Roy, Mustafa, and you know what I mean, and Al Akbar and all. That's y'all did. That was that. That was before me. If you still friends with dude up, I pray that he's just respectful to you and y'all could be friends. It's time to.
That's actually on our page because there was this thing about white and it's on my page. I don't know if he redid it.
What happened?
She said you should make 2 signs. One says him and one her, and we can ask you guys like who is a good cook and who said I love you first. He said I love you first.
Yeah, and I never.
I'm the best cook.
Well, she says she's the best cook because I don't cook.
He don't.
But
There's no proof that he is. So I am the best cook. See, just like I do all the driving, and there's no proof that I'm the best driver. See, it's just common sense.
I'm gonna get in the kitchen one day.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my chicken that he's supposed to be making. That his crispy fried chicken. I'm still waiting, and I'll so he can make it, and I still haven't gotten it yet. So,
well, contrary
that being said,
so far. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Brenda, that's a good idea. We might have to implement that in our next.
But he said, "I love you," but it was because of the way he came at me and asked me to marry him. He said that God told him, and at the time, I am better now, but also God was still with me, and he came to me and he called me and said that God said I was going to be his wife. Well, my answer was, God ain't tell me that because I was sassy. I had with God myself to confirm that. That's what happened. So I was a little
Anyway, so
anyway, back to the building relationships. What was it?
I was kind of done with that. I gave my last little pieces on that. My thing is just make sure that you want to do, and it's very important and be mindful of the other person.
Communication is number one, numero uno.
And you have to be able to person and trust and believe in that person that if they say that this is what they want to repair, trust and believe that this is something that they're going to do. This would be a nice game to play. See.
She said, this would be a nice game to play. He said sorry first. He said sorry first. Who snores? Who passed gas first in front of the
right here, dude.
Yeah, that's like
I used to light up behind her.
Yeah, never. Here's the thing. I think that my husband and I are a little unorthodox or not the standard couple. There's nothing that from we talked about everything. Even before we got married, we were talking.
I think that
everything under the sun.
I mean to cut you off. Respect. What's up, Nod?
She said respect that you gotta have.
Yeah.
Respect and communication. Those are the two things, yeah. What was you gonna say?
The most important part of that is that we were actually best friends before we got married.
Yeah.
We had a relationship to where best friends, where I used to call her and talk to her about other women that I was with, and all kinds of stuff. And we just developed a great relationship. And then we had a working relationship also, because she used to manage artists and she would call me as her go-to producer, produce records for these artists and stuff like that. But aside from the business part of any of that, in the beginning, just established a great friendship. And she's going to always be my best friend first. She's going to be my best friend before she was my wife. And I respect her and I cherish the friendship that we have. So with saying that, that's the way I am with her, as far as being mindful, as being respectful. Not to mention, the way my mom always certain things in me to, but just knowing that someone that I could talk to about anything. I can talk to her about, you know what, Brenda is violent. I didn't even look at it. What did she say?
Said, oh my God, I had a dream one night. She having flashbacks, right? That in the bathroom and girl, he woke me up and I went in the bed. Damn, that water bill. It was so bad.
You know what? Brenda's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to, like who did this, did that first. We haven't argued yet.
And been married 3 years.
So, it's not like it's the end of relationship. That's why I didn't understand why people said marriage was work, because at first it was like, well, it seemed easy to us. And then I really had to take a look at what they meant by marriage is work.
But see, marriage isn't work because it's a different situation. We put our trust and everything lies in God's hands before we deal with it.
Well, here's the thing, Naj. She said you can't have a conversation about everything that may come up in a relationship, but it's how you deal with the situation as, hey, come up in life. But here's the thing. Now, I'll tell you something. I'm still asking questions, okay? And there's not any questions I can ask, but I will watch something on TV and come up with a question for him. So, conscience is that I'm thorough with it. If I forgot something, I'll ask about it, and it'll come up because we ask each other question after question after question before, and now we're married 3 years, and I'm still asking him questions. Matter of fact, I asked him a question about something that happened today that I saw on TV, and I asked him, "What would you do in a situation like?" Oh yeah, I know what that was. That was two best friends. One's a male and one was a female. And that came from Best Man. That's what that was. Because he was best friends with the girl, friends with the guy, and he had slept with the girl. And I was like, would you tell your best? And so I feel like I'll never stop asking because that's how that's how we'll know how to deal with a situation. That's how we know each other. Because I'll still change and you grow. So, because sometimes he says I ask the same question over and over. Here's the thing: you change and you grow.
And I want to.
So that's why I ask.
Right, and I want to add on to that. Naj, when she's asking these questions, when she could ask me a question when we first got married and first got into the relationship, and here it is 3 years later. You know what I said 3 years ago to that question, the same way I feel 3 years later here today.
Exactly.
You know, things could change during the course of the marriage, the relationship, what have you, and it's only right for me to answer those questions truthfully. You know, and sometimes I'll be like, babe, you asked me that already. Come on, man, you keep asking me the same. But when I think about it, I think to myself, well, she already asked me that, but that was at a time when we were going through something. But here's a whole new now. It's been some time that's passed, and this is her way of confirming that what we have is still real. This is her way in that, you know, I'm being true to what I. This is her way of confirming that she wants to know that she still knows me. She wants to, you know, get to know that. She wants to know that she still knows who I am and still is assured of the way that you know what I mean? So with that being said, you know, even though she asked those questions and I may get tired of it, I still have to answer. And I'm definitely not going to lie about the question because you know, you have to be truthful about it, whether you felt one way in the beginning or you feel this way now.
So you might know what might come up in a relationship,
right?
But you will know how they will deal with it because you done asked so many questions.
Right, and you've asked that question numerous times.
Exactly. So you'll know how they deal with it. So it comes back to that communication. It always comes back to communication. Because if you got communication, yeah, you got a good relationship.
Can slip by you.
But you
Nothing
feel
will
someone shouldn't bring up something that has hurt them.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't something that hurt them, but I know what it may sound like a double-edged sword. What I'm saying is to prevent you guys from having, or anybody, not you guys, but I'm just when I say this, to prevent having to, let's see,
to prevent having them from cheating place or hurting you in the first place. If I feel like that's not. I was going to say
to prevent going back into a place in a relationship where detrimental to the relationship. Sometimes or bringing those things up are better left untouched. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If like we was cheated on you or whatever the case may be, and y'all went through your thing, and it's time for y'all to hook back up, and this is something that to hook up with, even though it hurts you, it's gonna hurt you to hold it in, but it's gonna hurt you even more to keep Because if you keep bringing it up, then what's going to happen is that person is going to get tired of it. And what you're going to hear from them, man, we went through this already. I thought you forgave me for this. I thought we wasn't going to talk no more. Damn, why you always got to bring that up? Here you go again. Like, for real.
Yeah,
and that
right.
becomes a pattern. And so now when you ask or bring it up again, it's like, damn, we got to keep talking about it. You're looking like, wow, you never really forgave me about it, because if I ask you this, they're getting mad about it. If I brought it up again, and look how you acting. So you must, you know what I mean? It brings in a whole new ball of confusion. Saying is whether they cheated on you, whether y'all had a crazy, whatever it is, bring that up. And no, and I know it may hurt, and you may be looking at this, and it's a million questions running through your mind. This joker said she really said she loved me, and how could you cheat on me if you really said you loved me? Like, how could you look me in my face and look at me and tell me that you love me, and then you go cheat on me? I understand that. I've been through that. I've heard that question. When you decide after y'all split, when you want to get back together, those are just some of the things. These are some of the things you have to deal with.
I think the bottom line is, if you, I have been in this.
It's that one.
You said that one, but you feel you shouldn't bring it up. I've been in this relationship for years, and we have done the work and survived the hurt. Just because you forgive someone does pain go away? No, it doesn't.
And just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to forgive. But you have to forgive that. You have to forgive in order to
move on.
You have in order to move on, and you have to forgive in order to make yourself, for you to get closure on the way you feel. You have to forgive someone, because here's the thing: if you never forgive someone, you give someone too much power, and you don't want to keep giving someone too much power over you, because if you spend that much time,
true. They want to be forgiven, they have to deal with it. Right. I agree.
But and what I'm saying is, thought to that specific thing more is getting more
then
power.
How can you move on? How can you?
There's no
How
way.
can you make things?
And how can you can't make it better?
To that one thing.
You can't make it better. And trying to get over the relationship, nothing. It makes no sense, because you keep giving more power to this one thing, and you're giving power to this person, that
or this
thing, not the person. You're giving power to this thing that is now to control your relationship, who you are, your thoughts, and your feelings. And that thing is not that powerful that you can't get rid of that. You know what I mean? You give that much power to that thing.
Sometimes you have to figure out, you have to say, okay, I'm hurt, and you have to
got to stick your chest out.
Yeah.
You got to absorb it and say, you know what? I'm gonna embrace this hurt, and I'm going to use this hurt to get better.
But you know what? Here's my bottom line, and this is how I feel. Bottom line is, it all got something to do with communication. Because if you got to communicate, I said in the beginning. I said in the beginning that we said before we got married, if you do this, I'll leave you. If you do this, I'll leave you. My thing is, as long as he don't lie to me, deal with just about anything else.
And I feel the same way.
If he lied to me, it's not going to be so easy for me to just forget. It's going to be some repercussions, because we have communication, because we have talked about it, because we are clear on it. We're grown. There is no reason, because he knows me. There is no reason that we have to lie to each other. So if he lied to me, I would take it personal assault, and our relationship would be over. that does not negate my love for him, okay? I will always love him.
Mm-hmm.
But just like Brenda, there was some things that was just the bottom line for her. He needed kids. She didn't let him go his way. No, it's just that simple for me. Because and yes, I would be hurt, but it wouldn't be so much the hurt. It would be.
Naj had a good point. She said, but if they want to be forgiven, they have to deal with it. You're right. And you have to deal with it also. And then she said, you can move on by your terms, not theirs. Right. And they have to move by their terms and not yours.
Telling someone you still ain't you're right. It is communication.
That is communication. That is communication.
I don't think that my husband wasn't saying that don't bring it up and don't tell him you're hurt. Don't keep
you can't keep bashing
them.
Look, if you
it's one thing to say I'm hurt. It's another thing that every time you hit on me. Oh, you can't. That's the difference.
Here's what I meant. Okay, just for instance, I'm gonna give you a for instance. Say you got a piece of glass and you got a pebble this small, and you keep throwing this pebble at the glass, bouncing off. Pebble at the glass, it's bouncing off. Pebble at the glass, it's bouncing. Eventually, that same little pebble is gonna glass. Eventually, it may take 1,000,000 years for it to crack, but in time, eventually, that glass is gonna crack. And one day, you're gonna take that pebble, and that whole joint is gonna shatter and hit the ground. So what I'm saying is that if you could prevent bringing that up each time y'all have a tiff or a disagreement, and saying, well, you cheated on me. Or she would say, well, you cheated, you ain't get enough, da 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 da. Or him, you cheated on me, you ain't get enough, da 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 da. Whatever the case may be, if you keep bringing it up, it's going to destroy everything, including your friendship. And if you do a relationship off of a friendship, that's definitely not something that you want to destroy, because at the end of the day, you build a friendship with someone, you build honor, trust, respect, and all of those things for this person. And in turn, they build the same for you. So what I'm saying is, if you get into a situation like that, of course, tell you're hurt is communication. And it's a great thing to have communication with someone. It's the best thing to have communication when you're in a relationship. But at the same time, you can't mistake communication for revenge or for get back. You know what I'm saying? Communication is being able to speak to someone and be of what's being said, what's thought about before it's being spoken is communication. Communication is not you guys are talking and he might say something or she might that triggers something, and then you go, well, shit, you cheated on me. Whoa, that's not communication. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes some things are better left alone.
Tit for tat.
Or tit for tat.
I'm gonna do this because you did that, or right. I'm gonna. Okay, well, exactly. You said this. Say this, right? You said what you said to hurt me, so I'm gonna throw back up in the face that you cheated on me. That's not communication, and that's what he meant by bringing it back up.
Yeah, and like when you keep bringing those things, then
in that manner,
then truly you were not ready to let that go yet, so you shouldn't be. And that was the point that I was trying to make in the beginning. If you feel like you that thing, whatever it is, then you shouldn't rush to get back into a relationship. You should be fully through with that whole thing before you say, okay, let's give this another shot. That's just what I believe.
And see, for me, I'm place now, but I be petty is that
she said that's what the work is.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right, Naj.
And that's what that's what I was realizing, because for me it's easy and it's like work,
you're
but
right.
that is the work. That is where the work comes in.
And she said, if I feel like that, then that's my true feelings. And you're right.
You're right.
And you're feelings, and you're entitled to express in a communication way. Communicative.
A communicative way.
A communicative way. Okay, I was getting. You're allowed to act in a communicative way. That
I'm still hurt.
I'm still hurt. That, you know what? Because also with communication, you're mindful of how you say things. Also, it's not what you say; it's how you say it. And
that's why. Let me bring that point.
Just real quick, I just got to get this out. You could say, you know what? It hurt me real bad. And my mind a whole lot. I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying not to think about it so much. But that thing really, really hurt me. Or you could say, yo, that was stuff that you did that to me. That was, work. That's whack. That shit is corny. Why would you do that? I ain't never do no shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? It's not what you say. It's how you approach the situation. It's how you approach the conversation. It's how you approach the.
See, now, let me just say this. First, Tony said we strive on communication, whether it's good, bad, or ugly.
That's right.
That's true. Now, yes, and why should the cheater get off that easy? But check out what you just said. Off that easy. So you're not looking at it as a healing. You're looking at it as it sounds like payback.
Right. And that's not the way to look at it.
Because that's what you're saying. Yes, why should you? And understandable how you feel, but are you trying to heal or are you trying to get payback? Because those are two things. If you're trying to heal, then it's not about him.
Right.
Getting off easy.
And see, here's the thing. As long as you feel like he's getting easy, as long as that thought is embedded in your mind,
then that's about payback.
It's in your heart.
Not about.
It's about payback. But listen, as long as it's in your mind and it's in your heart, given that power to that person, for you to think about that all the time and not truly heal yourself to a point where you don't have to think about that. When you see that person, the first thing that comes, that MF cheated on me. That's, man, F that. You know what I mean? That brings in hostility. But if you're truly trying to heal yourself, and this is what you want because you need that for you forgive that person wholeheartedly, and you're not giving them the power that from that, then they're not getting off easy. And when you see that person that's like, what's happening?
Because guess what? You can kill somebody with niceness. You can kill them with because they're expecting your
to be
combative. But if you come off in a different way, that's going to kill them more than anything. Because it's like, well, why didn't like that? Why they not?
She said
mad.
She said she'll never forgive me. Laughing and joking. Coffee and Starbucks.
You'll have them look at their shoulders.
And seeing then what happens is that person starts to think, damn, she feeling like that. Eventually, some line, just like I gave that synopsis about the little pebble hitting the glass, eventually that person
triggers. But
eventually that person is going to come and apologize to you for doing that.
Mm-hmm. But I know you said triggers, but still, triggers are meaning that you did not heal.
That you're not over it.
You're not. Right. If they can trigger you,
then you're not ready to get into that relationship.
You was not from it from the beginning.
That's right.
Because maybe in the beginning, when you were trying to heal, instead of healing, you was thinking they need to feel that hurt. You needed that revenge.
Right.
So you got to heal so that now they can come back and trigger you.
Right. But if a person power over you. I can sit here all day and say a certain thing to my wife that's going to trigger her. I say to her, and she'll flip right over and go to sleep, and I can keep saying it. She ain't paying it no mind. It's there's no power over it. If a person can trigger you with something, then you give it power, and you have to work on yourself to not allow that much power over you.
Which goes back to when you first got together.
You are
what was those baggage that you brought?
Baggage you brought in, and you're absolutely right on your behalf to tell a person what you want and what you feel is right, and vice versa. Those questions that need to be asked in the beginning, don't wait for 2 years to go by. Ask the person that. When you sit down and you meet this person and you figure you're going to get into a relationship with a person, when you that are packed up in the back of your mind that you're going to leave in the club, maybe I might not say that right now, because if I do, she might not really like me like that. Maybe that's too much for her right now. That's not too much. And if you from that, then she's never going to like you, and vice versa with a woman. If those questions that you have that are packed up in the back of your mind, you can't ask those questions in the beginning when you sit down and you meet this person. If it's not worth it to speak that, it's not worth it to sit there and try to make a relationship or process with a person if you don't feel comfortable being able to ask those. With that sense, once you get in some time with this person and then you start questions to the front, then that may make this person think, damn, why didn't she ask me that in the first place? Or why didn't he say that in the beginning? He could have. You know what I mean?
This, Nigel, to you, you're right, but let me say this to you. Now, but here where's the unfairness coming from? My husband and I have both been married. This is our third marriage. So by the time we got in this marriage, we was mature and knew what we were. Coming from a place whereas this has been your love since kids, and when you're young, you're not as mature as you're old. It does. It's a different place. It's a different status. The line you live and learn. Because with your relationship, y'all came from young to old. With that, there come a point where y'all have grown together, and there come a point where y'all have to sit and have the conversation. Okay, this happened. You have to put this on the table. You have to put that on the table because y'all started out young. Nothing young love, but you're not quite matured enough to have a mature relationship when you. And so you come with that person, you kind of learn with that person, and have to come to a point where, okay, we grown, we family grown. Now, we have to wipe all that table that happened when we was young and didn't know better in the relationship. It's a little different because we came into the relationship mature. We've been through the knockdown, the throwouts, and the not being mature and the being petty and stuff like that. So it's different type. It's a different road. Am I explaining that?
Yeah.
It's a different road. With
you
y'all,
don't love the
you
same.
guys have to like.
Let me say this. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. And Tony had a good point too. I'm gonna address that in a second, but just let me address this for Naj real quick. You don't love the same at 20 as you do at 30, and you don't love the same at 30 as you do. You understand what I'm saying? Again, to see, love is the highest level of understanding, and the older you get, the more you understand what love is.
So sexy when you on those quotes.
Come on now.
I'm sorry,
but I'm just saying it's the highest level of understanding, and the more you understand, because the more you acquire during your life and more things that you've gone through, people and, experiencing different things and acquiring different pieces of now help you understand, what you did at 20 isn't the same thing you did at 50. You know what I mean?
And that's why our work is easier than someone in your relationship, the work was harder because we to it with grown pants on. Y'all came into it, had to come to that grown.
And there's nothing wrong.
No, it's not, but I'm just saying it's a different road.
It is.
It's a different outlook.
I want to say this. I commend you if you've been together 45 years or 25 years. I commend that. That's because so many different parts of things that you've gone through the trips you've been able to share, whether
that was work.
Whether right.
That was hard.
Good, bad, or indifferent. But some point you guys have to say, you know what? Let's lay everything out on the table. Just to make sure that to reiterate that these are the things. I know I hurt you in that situation. You hurt me in this situation, but I'm glad we did that. I'm loving what we have right now. This is a blessing that we've been able to come this far, and everything that we've been doing till right now, it still hasn't been enough to drag us apart permanently.
Okay, I want you to, but while he's addressing Tony, Nige, what do you mean it wasn't? I want you to respond to that.
Cousin Tone, I just want to say that he
said for many different reasons. The big question is why, which is what I said. You gotta, both parties need to know why and the type of cheating is going on.
Right, because cheating is not physical all the time. It's not only physical. Cheating is.
Well, that's why you asked why, because it could have been a mental thing. It could have been that, I just, you're not, there's no communication with you, which always goes back to communication. Or maybe you're just not happy sexually. It could be that. And to present it in the room, maybe your relationship started in a way where that the sex is not gratifying now. Everybody don't start off like that. Love is love and God is God. We started off a little late. So you're starting off younger and you didn't get that and you was having sex and then you got married or you got the sex wasn't all that or you wasn't satisfied or whatever. And so somebody wiggled out and went somewhere else.
Then?
Because you didn't have the communication.
Right. So now, harder.
I was waiting for her to respond.
Nah, what you mean? Is she still with me? Or?
No, that's her, but she never responded. Because I had said that for her, it worked. Marriage was harder because they started out younger than we did.
Oh, and she said it wasn't.
So I wanted her to respond to that, but she.
Okay.
I don't know if she's still there or not. But we were on for an hour and a half, and this was a good conversation, and we love it, and we appreciate the support.
Like and share.
Yeah, like and share. We'll be back next Sunday, and I think because of Brenda, we're going to talk about having an ex. That's
definitely a good topic.
Thank you, Brenda. If you use that, tune in next week for the exes.
We're definitely going to shout you out for that topic. Appreciate that.
And also like and share. If you enjoy us, share the Hatchett Chronicles. Started this, I said if I could help one person, then
with a relationship, then
that would be all. With a relationship, like if I could just help one person during this Hatchett Chronicles, then I've done what God put on my heart to do. So, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys supporting us. Keep liking like to move to YouTube, so it's to build our audience back up the way we had it. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to keep my husband on a regular schedule. It was our life, and we grew up together. The hurt was over 30 years. The baby of five, our baby of five kids together. Us.
It's 30. That's what's up. So y'all have gone through what you needed to go through in order to sustain and keep your relationship what it is. So y'all have gone through a lot, and like I commend you. I give you kudos on being together that long, good, bad, or indifferent. To do another 20 years, 30 years, that's a blessing. I think it's a blessing, and there shouldn't be anything that one of y'all don't know about the other one. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you checking in today. You had some excellent points. Um, join us.
I love you, Nice.
I love you too, sis. You know the vibes. We thank y'all for tuning in, man.
Uncle? Is didn't ain't Kareem?
Uncle Kareem.
His wife is what?
That's Kareem. No, that's not cousin, sister.
It's not her sister. Her cousin.
Yeah, cousin. Who is this?
Did you know that, Nigel?
Swipe no swipe. Swipe no swipe.
Uncle Kareem's is related.
She know Uncle Kareem's wife. She know that.
No, but I didn't know if she put two. I didn't know the connection. That's what I'm saying.
We spoke about that when she came. And we were in Virginia.
That was Jamila. I mean, that was Kamar. That wasn't Nigel.
Oh,
Nigel is older than Kamar.
Oh, pardon me.
Okay,
my bad. Okay, I didn't know. I thought that she was the one.
Oh, she's your sister?
Yeah.
I don't know her. I'm confused. I'm confused. I didn't know she was a sister. Because no, Jamila, Kamar, Nigel, and Kabir. Oh, see, I knew that.
She's my sister.
I never knew she was your sister. I knew it was relation, but I didn't know the connection. I didn't.
Uncle Kareem and all that. That's a long line.
I know that part, but I didn't know. I never could her where she belonged in the family. I couldn't put two together, so I was confused that. So my bad, because I'm crazy. I'm old.
Well, be on the lookout for my beat tape that I'm releasing on the May 1st.
It'll be out. UTR's
GL's beat tape.
Yes.
It's going to be on every site: Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify.
Oh, okay. I get it now. Okay. I get it now.
It's going to be on every stream site that you can stream music on. Just taking a peek at Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, because I'm still putting up the cover and stuff like that, so you guys could get a gist of what's going on. But first, it'll be dropping like around 10 o'clock in the morning, so y'all be able to grab that.
Go out and get your copies.
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate the support.
Download your copies.
I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate y'all rocking with me.
Look out. We are going to do his beat making for beginners. He's got so much on his plate. I'm waiting for him so that we can get this done. Y'all been asking for it. We are going to do it. And a question came up was the age range. I want their 8-year-old.
I could teach a 5-year-old how to make beats.
Is he sexy?
No, I've been doing it for over 30 years.
So yeah, there's no age range, and we do not we're the Pacific. So
club, if it's pop, if it's rock, whatever you want to do, I can teach you. I can teach you how to start making beats using the equipment, what equipment to get, and that type of stuff. Yep.
See, I didn't know all that.
Yes, he does.
I see. I'm still putting 2 and 2 together, and it's been years, and I'm still trying to put it together because I'm a little slow.
That's how I've known Kabir all these years.
But see, I'm a little slow still trying to put it together because I'm still shocked that you and Kabir.
I've been knowing Kabir for it's about 30 years. I know Kabir. About 30. That's my man. So, book.
I got my book, The Power of God.
That's still for sale.
Still,
it's a great read.
I am my husband. Or if you have all us, I'll tell you how to get
Text
it.
me, call me.
$15.99, $3 shipping. I take PayPal, credit cards, major credit cards, and
another book. Actually, 2 books. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm working on another book. That's not going to be out for. I don't know when that book is. I'm only one. It's going to be a while, so I'll just keep telling y'all about it. But it's going to be a while. But the other book that I'm writing a chapter for is through the Val of the book club. She has 2.
School getting
busy. Yeah, she has 2. So she's writing Coronavirus Chronicles. A chapter in that book is 15 authors, and so I'm finishing up there, and then I'm going back to my book, writing my book. Oh, look out for she's doing the book club from her book that she wrote.
Nice.
Okay. See, I don't know your kids as well as I know yours, Nigella, and Kamar's, because Kabir was older than us, so he was already out and gone kids. So I don't know them like I know the rest of the nephews. But okay, I'm putting 2 and 2 together now. What else we got going on? Oh, my artist has my artist Del Royale. He has another song out with a video, so look out for him, Del Royale. I will put the link in on my page.
You can get it on my page too.
Yeah. Little in business. We're stuck in the house, but we still working here. So my husband is still doing beats. I'm still representing. I'm on projects with my artists. So hey, I call us whatever. We here. We still doing. We still make do. That's all.
And thank you for joining.
Thank you for your support. I enjoyed this.
Today was definitely a good time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Look out next Sunday, 6 o'clock, where thank you, Brenda, talking about the exes.
Yeah, Brenda Bill.
Yeah, we will be talking. Brenda, come back, join us back next Sunday at 6 so we can talk.
So we thank y'all. We love y'all.
I love you, guys.
And this is the Hatchett Chronicles, and we are
out. Peace.
Peace and blessings. Like and share. Like and share.
Like and share. Like and share.